Greetings everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hi. I used to draw a lot when I was a kid. All I needed was a piece of paper and a pen, and I really enjoyed drawing until I started going for perfectionism, which made doing art kind of feel like a burden, and eventually the frequency of me drawing was decreased to 1 or 2 drawing in every 6 or 7 months. After 7 years, I made this YouTube channel, and when I started my Inktober challenge, I realized how terrible was my eye-hand coordination and how stiff my hands were while drawing, and I was not able to draw the way I wanted to draw. Then one day I saw this video of a YouTuber, Huma Hamsta, where she learned to draw in 30 days, and I was really inspired by it. So I decided to do a 30-day challenge for myself, restoring my art skills after 7 years, that you are about to watch right now. Let's get into the video. Enjoy! For the first 2 days, I drew random lines and patterns to improve the flexibility of my hands and to develop some eye-hand coordination that I had probably lost by not drawing for a very long time. Another thing that I did while doing this challenge was trying to move my hands instead of my sketchbook, because I always moved my sketchbook while drawing and it was kind of awkward, especially when I'm filming my videos. On day 3, I started practicing drawing human head, using the Loomis method. For those who don't know what Loomis method is a technique by an artist, Andrew Loomis, that uses basic geometric shapes and measured marks to draw human head in any angle. Anyway, for this challenge, I just focused on drawing an adult head in 3 different angles: the front, the side, and the 3/4 view. Once I got familiar with the basic shapes, I moved on to the next stage, which is understanding the facial features, starting from nose, then lips, eyes, and ears. And for all these features, I referred the Loomis method as well as some YouTubers like Proco, Brushes and Bunnies, and Zaira Bunnies. I don't know if I'm pronouncing their names correctly. Anyway, then I combined those techniques to create a new one and used that to draw facial features in any angle. Because creating and following my own style was relatively more easier than forcing myself onto following someone else. To everyone watching this video, I would like to tell you guys, I'm really insecure with my English, because English is not my first language and my grammar is not very good either. And to be honest, I'm really nervous while recording this, but I really wanted to do this voiceover, so I apologize for my mistakes and please continue watching. It was day 9 when I started practicing hair, and I've already learned about the hairline from the Loomis method, and from there I followed these basic steps, which are drawing the outline of the hair, mapping the direction, marking the shadows, then adding the texture, and finally adding some stray hairs. As far as I know, drawing almost every hair followed these steps, and I found out that the texture and how the hair is parted gives a lot of character to the face. On day 10, I started practicing hands, which is probably a nightmare for most of the artists, me no exception. I don't have any idea how many tutorials I watched to learn drawing hands, as some parts of human hands are dominated by muscles and some parts are dominated by bones. The monstrous difficulty was understanding how those muscles and bones worked in different hand poses. One of the best advice I've got on drawing anatomy is to always use reference, and the best source is Pinterest and yourself as well, because along with getting reference images from Pinterest, I drew a bunch of lines on my own hand and used it as a guide to draw more efficiently. And it really helped me understand the muscles, and as you can see, I improved a lot. One of the best things about recording your journey is that you can see how much you are improving each day with practice, and it really feels good. But I constantly had to remind myself that the actual goal of this challenge was regaining my art skills and not becoming a pro. Because most of the time my perfectionist behavior kicks in, and I often found myself procrastinating by watching more tutorials, while what I actually should be doing was practicing what I've learned. Talking about perfectionism, to be honest, I was used to be proud of being a perfectionist, and I still think perfectionism is good, but there comes a point when we cross the line and put so much pressure on ourselves to meet the super high standard that we start losing track and getting so anxious, and eventually we don't feel doing art enjoyable or relaxing anymore. Perfectionism begins to damage the creative flow and hold ourselves from improving as we start valuing perfection over progress. I recognize that I struggle with this desire to only create the perfect art every time I draw, and I found out that the more perfect the art I want to be, the more pressure I put on myself. So this time for drawing the anatomy, I deconstructed the human body into more manageable parts by focusing on the basic structures rather than getting too caught up in the details, so that I can give myself a chance to be a beginner by making a strong foundation on anatomy and then building up and improving eventually.
Sometimes I was so into this challenge that I couldn't help myself staring onto people's faces to analyze their facial features, and they were like, why the hell is he staring at me? What I'm trying to say is, as artists, we can always take inspiration from the surroundings by observing the people and things around us. Because nature itself is the best source of inspiration and reference, and I highly recommend you to do that, especially if you are a beginner artist, and it will really help you a lot. But please don't stare at people in a creepy way like I did, else you might get into trouble. Day 24, I tried drawing some clothes, and clothes were really fascinating because they are part of the body and not part of the body at the same time, and I don't know if you can understand what I meant. Clothes and human body have the same anatomical structure and still they are completely different from each other. I don't know how to explain this. However, the way clothes stay on the body depends on various things like nature of the fabric, gravity, and many more factors like that. But the most important thing is understanding how the lights and shadows work. Because when there is light, there will be shadows, and lights and shadows together create art. After spending a considerable amount of time practicing and learning about drawing clothes, I moved on to drawing some poses. Since I can't draw poses from my imagination yet, I used reference and tried to apply everything I learned so far since day one while drawing each pose.
If you go to bed, when can I see you? If I'm not enough, how can I be with you anymore? 'Cause I'm not your savior, I'm just a man with 1,000 endings. No, just a boy whose favor lacks the heart.
It's the 29th day, and reflecting on the past days of this challenge, I realized how much I've improved as an artist and as a content creator. As you can see, my video making quality was drastically improved. Even though there had been times when I didn't want to continue this challenge anymore, but knowing how much I can learn and how better I'm getting each day made me keep going. One of the best things happened to me in this challenge was creating my own techniques, because I never thought I could do that, and moreover, I had a lot of fun. Even though it was a little frustrating sometimes due to my perfectionist behavior, and it was okay. Doing this challenge and restarting my art journey after 7 years made me realize how much I enjoy this whole process when I'm not worried about only creating the perfect art every time, and start valuing my progress over perfection. Day 30, the last day of this challenge, I drew some hands, face and some poses. By the way, if you like this video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and feel free to comment any questions, suggestions, tips or anything you like. I'd love to answer them all, and I'd be really happy to know if this video somehow inspired you as an artist. Here is the final drawing of this challenge, and before we end this video, I'd like to tell you something, and that is, cool things are coming. Bye bye.